welcome to the 5th and final episode of Smile You're on Camera Season 1. It is so nice to be joining you here tonight for this special final episode. I cannot believe our first season is already coming to an end. It is crazy. It has definitely been a wild ride, but I'm so happy to be here tonight with you all after such a good semester here on the show. So, I recently realized that most of my guests have been involved with the arts in some way, and that was an unintentional but fortunate coincidence. First, we had Sam with her animations, Erin and her photography, and last week we had Professor Pritchard with her poetry. For this final episode, I'm bringing out another guest involved with the general arts world, but with a skill that will complete our survey of the arts. Not to spoil too much, but tonight's guest has an impressive talent with music, and I'm so excited to introduce her to you all at home. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our guest, Katie Miller, for tonight. So Katie, Katie meet everyone and everyone meet Katie. Thank you so much for being on our show tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Any first thoughts about being here in the studio?
Well, I'm just so impressed. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're here joining us as well. So this semester I enrolled in a class for my audio minor called Intro to Music Technology. I met Katie in the class. She's sitting in the row in front of me. And it's been really cool hearing all the different kinds of projects you've been working on and just kind of bouncing ideas off of each other. And I've also been in some musical ensembles with her, involved with our music department here at Oswego. We'll get into all that later, but Katie, can you give us a short intro into kind of who you are and some of the things you do here at Oswego?
Sure. Here at Oswego, I'm a music performance major, so I study piano primarily, and I'm involved with groups like State Singers, that music technology class, some music theory and piano pedagogy classes. So I study a lot of music, but specifically piano.
I know, it's been so interesting learning more about all the things you're studying. I think it's been pretty interesting learning more about your involvements, of course, and I think that all of you at home are going to learn a lot tonight as well. This video was one of my favorites to edit because there's a special musical surprise in there. So, without further ado, let's take a look at Katie's life now.
It is currently 9 o'clock. This is my little cat Pip. She's been up for a long time. And it is the last day of classes today. So I'm just getting ready for some rehearsals, some classes that I'm still going to. And then tonight I have a concert. So I'll keep you updated on all of that. This is the little practice setup that I've got in my apartment. And I usually practice piano about 3 hours a day. So the first hour of that this morning is going to be working on some Bach and then some pieces for the choir that I accompany.
Pip's outside getting some sun. She's supposed to go climb a tree, but she's a little scared right now.
Right now I'm walking to campus. I live like a 20-minute walk from campus, so I like to walk on the days that it's nice outside. And I've got 2 classes today. I have Intro to Electronic Music and State Singers. So here we go. Classes and rehearsals, I have some more time to practice. So for this practice session, I'm going to be working on my Chopin Ballade. concert, and now I'm home with little Pip. And we're both gonna get some dinner, and then I've got some homework and an Italian test to finish up.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Thank you, Katie, for the mini concert. Those were some beautiful pieces.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed getting the first look at that. I hope everyone at home enjoyed the concert too. I think it's been really cool getting a new perspective about the music department here at Oswego and your own progress with learning about the piano and just music in general. After the break, we're going to be talking a little bit more about some of the things we saw in that video, so make sure to stay tuned and we'll see you after these short messages.
What's going on?
Yeah, we go on at like 11:30. It's like
No.
What do you mean no?
It's 10:30.
10:30?
Yeah, it's 10:30.
What do you mean it's 10:30?
Hey, don't touch that. That's my ladder.
Hey, man.
Whoa. You know this book was already discounted 10%?
Wow.
Wow.
Get a close up of that one.
Matthew,
Look at that.
Can we go back inside? I want to sleep in the studio again.
We'll deep dive into our feelings in our Real Talk segment. Stay tuned because it's about to get real.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome back to Major Discussions. So before the break, we watched a day in Katie's life, and we're going to talk about some of those things now. So Katie, one of the main things we saw in your video was your involvement in studying and performing as a pianist here on campus. So I was wondering, how did you end up becoming or performing piano on a professional level?
Well, I started piano lessons when I was 7, and my mom enrolled all my siblings and I in piano, and she said, "You've got to stick it out." And my siblings all hated it. I was the only one who liked it. And so, you know, I've been sticking it out since then. But I really fell in love with it and got serious in high school. And when I was choosing my college major, I thought I needed to decide on something, you know, serious that I wanted for an actual job. And then I realized, like, this is what I love doing, so this should be my actual job. And so now I'm exploring career paths, looking at grad schools, but it's just always been something that I'm passionate about.
Yeah, I think I can relate. I started playing the cello when I was in 3rd grade, and I'm still continue to now.
Nice.
So it's been interesting seeing like little kid me doing that, and then now look at us here in college doing it as well. So since you said you started at age 7, what's been kind of the reason for you to, I know you said you're passionate about it, but what's been the motivation behind keeping it up for so long?
Well, my family is a really musical family, so that's something that my parents really emphasized. And they paid for my piano lessons, and I don't know, that's just been something that's been really important to me. So I've just kept going, kept loving it.
That's awesome. It's like very inspirational, I would
Thanks.
say. One thing that really stood out to me was your practice schedule. You said you practiced for 3 hours a day.
Yeah.
I usually practice for like 1 hour-ish when I have the time to. So that's like a very big time commitment. How do you maintain such a rigorous routine? Is it like how do you find the time to do that every day?
Well, it is tricky in college because, you know, everyone's telling you to prioritize, but then you're thinking to yourself, what do I prioritize? Because there's work, school, you want to have a good social life. So it really comes down to priorities, and I've made that one of my top priorities, is finding the time to practice, putting in the hours every day. And 3 hours does look like a lot, but many pianists are practicing like 6 or 7 hours. So for me, that's a good balance. And I do take a lot of breaks, so I'll practice for 1 hour in the morning and then 2 hours in the evening with some breaks in there. So I split it up a little bit, but that's honestly, just putting in the time makes a big difference on how far you're going to go and how much repertoire you can learn.
I remember recently, a few months ago, I tried learning like a very much level 1 piano piece because I have no experience on the piano, but I tried learning it and it took me like a month to learn like this simple, very basic piece. So I applaud your skills. Do you ever have like not creative block, but do you ever find it hard to find the motivation to sit down and practice, or like, oh, I'm not looking forward to this piece, or have you ever experienced that?
Yes, that happens often. I mean, I think that's an issue for any creatives, is just finding the motivation to keep going. And my piano professor has talked to me quite a bit about this. We've talked about how to keep going through, he calls it the drudgery of life and of piano. And often what I'll do is, after I have a really inspiring moment, like I've just played at a concert or something, I'll go journal about that. I have a piano journal where I write down things about my practice sessions. So I'll journal about that, and then when the drudgery is getting too overwhelming, I go back and look at that and think to myself, like, this is why I do it. And then that helps kind of push me forward. But also just having habits in place that encourage me to practice is really helpful. I think all creatives tend to be a little scattered, and so it's good to have some structure for all of us. So that's what helps me.
Yeah, I agree. I know I'm more involved with the arts, but I find that having a good time management schedule really helps to keep everything balanced. The piece we saw in the video was a Chopin piece, right? So that seemed like crazy difficult. So I know sometimes I get overwhelmed when I start looking at a difficult piece, like, how am I ever gonna surmount this challenge? How do you start? What's the practice routine like? Is it you do it in little sections, or you run through the whole thing slowly, or? Because you said that was a 9-minute piece, right, eventually? Became, so.
Yeah, so this is something I've spent a lot of time on this year, is how to do task management on a project of that size. And my piano professor has been really helpful on this. So the way that I start a piece is I begin with a score study. So I'll sit down with the music in front of me, I'll pull up a good performer and just listen through the piece and be marking in the score certain things that I think are going to be challenging or I want to look into further. And then I will take the piece and divide it into sections. So for my Chopin piece, there were 12 sections, and that can be about a page or like a page and a half. And then I actually use a spreadsheet, which sounds really dorky, but you know, it works. And on my spreadsheet, I'll write the date, how many minutes I practiced that specific section of the piece, the BPM, which is beats per minute, so like how fast the piece, that little section was, and then I'll give it a perfection rating 1 through 10, and I always aim for an 8 or higher. And when I started this method, I thought that the perfection rating would really be a drag and would discourage me, but it's honestly very motivating to be like aiming for a certain level of excellence. And so I've been filling that spreadsheet out for my Chopin since I started it, and that's sort of a way to keep yourself accountable to, you don't have to practice the entire piece, but you at least need to get started on like a certain section. So that helps me on those pieces that are so big, they look a little insurmountable at first.
Wow. I think I need to take some notes off of my own practice schedule. I have never made a spreadsheet before. Do you, so in your video as well, we saw your involvement with State Singers and also the stand-up Shakespeare show. I also know we performed in a orchestra ensemble for that Bach piece as well. Do you have a favorite group or project that you were a part of this semester here at Oswego that was your favorite or kind of stood out?
Okay, so yes, as you mentioned, I'm involved in a couple groups here on campus. For State Singers, I mostly do accompaniment, so I'll play some songs with them. The stand-up Shakespeare group was really enjoyable. I think my favorite collaboration was actually off campus. It was playing in the pit for a high school production of Anastasia, and I played the lead keyboardist for that pit. And the keyboardist position is always tricky because you're kind of managing the rest of the musicians. That was the first time I had done that, and it was very exciting. So I definitely want to do more of that in the future.
Awesome. Yeah, I think it's always rewarding kind of having those outside groups and kind of taking it practicing your solo performance to another level.
Yeah.
One of the things that I first learned about you was that you're from Kansas, which I thought is so cool. I don't know, you meet so many people here at Oswego, but how did you end up here at Oswego?
Well, okay, I've been getting this question a lot since
I know,
moved.
this must be the millionth time.
Yes, and everyone brings up the Wizard of Oz, so at least you haven't done that. Yeah, so I was going to a very small liberal arts school in Kansas, and COVID really hit those schools hard, especially the arts programs. So actually, the music program at my school closed down this year. So it was a good time to leave that school. I came to Oswego with my voice professor, and she kind of pointed out that the music program here was really good. And you know, I always say, like, how many times in your life do you just get to move to a new town? So it's been really exciting being here.
Yeah, that must be such a big change to move, like, basically halfway across the country, kind of.
Yeah.
But that's so cool. Do you have any recommendations of places, travel recommendations for anyone who might find themselves in Kansas anytime soon?
Well, Kansas, there's not a whole lot to do. I will say that. There's a lot of cornfields and wheat fields. But Kansas City, Kansas is one of my favorite spots. It actually spans the Kansas-Missouri border. And I really like the Nelson Atkins Museum of Art there. I've gone to a couple Royals games if you like baseball, so there's some fun things to do there.
All right, well, if I ever find myself in Kansas, I'll look back on this episode and see what you said, take your recommendations. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us here tonight and giving us an inside look at some of the things you do here. After the break, we're going to be talking more about what you all have been up to over the last week or so, so make sure to stick around.
No kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
We're here for you, we're here for you. This is your channel 2. With sports and news and what to do, we're here for you. It's your TV, you're watching WTLP. Your TV, thanks for watching WTLP.
La 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 la. Free. La 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 la. La 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 la. Freeze.
So hello and welcome back, everyone. Now we are going to do our last snapshot segment of the season. How time flies, this is crazy. So let's take a look at our first photo. If we can put that up on screen. So this was submitted by Katie, of course, as we see here, but we got to bring back the cat. So can you, is this Pip again?
Yes, this is Pip.
So how did you end up with Pip in a backpack?
Well, so I adopted Pip from the Humane Society, and the story with the backpack is she loves crawling into small spaces. So if you're not careful, she stows away in everything. Purses, bags, backpacks.
That's so cute. And we saw Pip climb a tree earlier,
yes.
too.
I've been working on getting her outside, but she's still afraid of places that don't have ceilings. So it's a work in progress.
Understandable. I feel like I would just feel the same way if I were Pip.
Yeah.
How long have you had her for?
About 3 months now.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah.
So new pet
Yeah.
mom there.
Yeah,
Have you
she's
had any
grown up.
other pets?
My girlfriend has a dog, so
Oh, wow.
that was a process introducing the two of them, but now they're buddies.
Oh, that's cute. How
Yeah.
long has she had the dog for?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
A long while.
What is it like? Personally don't have any pets, but what do you love about having animals around, I
Well,
guess?
they're really comforting and soothing. I think especially in college, it's nice to have that sort of support, and they're just your buddies. You come home at the end of the day and you can hang out with them.
Yeah, I recently saw they had therapy dogs outside of the library, and
yeah.
I'm planning on stopping by for finals week because we could use that.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's move on to the next snapshot if we could. So this is from Jada in the audience, and a squirrel came outside of your shared apartment. So
Yes.
can you tell us a little bit more about that story?
Yes, so this was when Jada and I first moved to Oswego. We moved into a very tiny, attic apartment, and there were squirrels living in the ceiling, so we could hear them running around above us. And one day while Jada was home, this squirrel launched itself at the window, and I always thought squirrels had nice little noises, but no, they screech and they try and climb through the windows. Yeah, it was crazy. So this squirrel was trying to get in.
That is crazy. And is that Jada's dog in the picture there
Yes.
too? Okay, so
Jada's-
now we met the cat and the dog
Yeah.
too. Last year, this was a while ago, but last year I was getting lunch actually at one of our dining halls, and a squirrel came into the building and was just running around the bottom hallway.
Oh my
and so I just happened to be there. I was the only one down there, and it was me and a janitor fighting a squirrel.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, I'm just trying to get lunch here. I'm not trying to get rabies, but yeah, I think it's interesting that you had squirrels living in your ceiling. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
I know.
I just saw a skunk last night, a real life skunk for real, outside of the library. So
Dang.
that was weird. I was like, whoa, those exist in
There's
real
a
life.
lot of wildlife.
Yeah. So let's take a look at our last snapshot there. So this was submitted by our teleprompter tonight, Brian, and this was at a Syracuse Mets game recently. I love the fireworks, and I love, just in terms of photography as well, the colors. What do you think?
I think it's great. Honestly, since I've moved to Oswego, I've noticed that there's fireworks for every occasion. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I know there's the
fun.
Harborfest fireworks in the summer, right?
Yeah.
Sadly, I'm not here over the summer, so that's why I feel like I wish
Yeah.
I could see those. But I'm excited for summer because this reminds me of July 4th. And so
Yeah.
I'm really excited for summer. Do you have any summer plans?
Well, I'm staying here in Oswego, but I'm probably going to go back in a little trip for Kansas, see all my friends and my family back there. So
That's awesome.
It'll be
Yeah,
exciting.
I'm really excited for summer. Go home, kind of take a break from everything because this semester's been crazy. I'm sure you can agree.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm so ready.
So thank you to everyone who submitted photos over the course of the season. It's been so interesting seeing what's going on in your lives, and thank you to everyone who submitted photos tonight as well. So now our final episode is almost over. I cannot believe that this first season is coming to a close already. It has been such a crazy semester. At first, I never thought I had the skills to produce a show, and I was honestly about to give up before I even started. I remember talking to some of my friends I can't do this. But now to see this final project come to life and look back on the last 5 episodes is crazy. I know I'm going to be looking back on this for years and years, and I'm so happy I was able to have this experience. I really hope I can continue to do this in the future, and so that I can bring some more interesting stories to light for you all watching at home. I've really enjoyed introducing some of my favorite people on campus to you all, and I hope I can continue to do that in the future as well. So now, since it is the end of the season, I'd like to take the time to do some thank yous as well. So first off, thank you so much, Katie, for coming on to this special episode tonight and giving us a little performance. It was amazing learning more about you. Any final thoughts about being on the show tonight?
Thanks. Yeah, thank you for having me here.
Yeah, I'm so happy you agreed to come on. It's been awesome. I want to also say thank you for all of you watching at home as well, for your continued support of me, this show, this station, and all the students here. I know it's always a highlight for me going back home and reading all of your messages of support. I always love hearing from you, and it's really meant so much to me. Thank you to our wonderful crew tonight and over the course of the semester. I know we have some new faces here tonight, but I want to take a quick shout out to everyone that's helped me produce this. Without you, all this could not happen. Okay, so yeah, it's been so amazing working with you all. I really hope that we have the opportunity to work together in the future. It's really been a pleasure. And to our graduating seniors, there's been a few of you that really, I will miss you all. It's been so nice working with you over the last few years. I really wish you the best of luck with your future endeavors, all of your guidance, me coming into the studio, asking for your help. I remember coming in like last year when I was just a little baby WTOP member and seeing where I am today, it wouldn't be without you guys. So I'm really gonna miss seeing your smiling faces in the office and here on screen as well. I'm really gonna miss you guys, but I know you're off to great things as well. I wanna say thank you so much to everyone watching at home, my family, all my friends. Thank you so much to the friends in the audience tonight as well. It's been truly, yeah, let's see if we can get them on camera. Quick shout out to them. Yay, woohoo. Thank you guys so much. So yeah, I guess that's it for this semester. I really cannot believe I'm saying that right now. Stay tuned for next semester though, and any future Smile updates. I'm not 100% sure yet, but make sure to stay tuned on our Instagram at SmileWTOP10. And just for any updates about season 2. Thank you all again, for one last time, don't forget to smile because you are on camera. Have a good night, everyone.